So many of you have asked me, how do you achieve that ooey core in your stuffed cookie? How come mine turns out dry? Why does mine not look like it's oozing? How do you stuff a cookie properly without having it leak out? What if I can't be bothered freezing my stuffing? Is there an easier way? You know, things like that. So if you wanna up that cookie game of yours, keep watching as I will be sharing 3 tips to achieve that perfect oozy core.
So we start with chopping up 8 pieces of Oreos, and in a mixer bowl add in your butter, sugar, and light brown sugar. With a paddle attachment, beat it until it is evenly mixed. Once it's pale and fluffy, add in the egg, a tablespoon at a time, so it is easier to get mixed in. Once all the egg is in, we're going to dump in all the flour, sprinkle of baking powder, roughly chopped chocolate into quite small pieces. You can use chocolate chips too if you want. And our chopped Oreos. I like to add all the dry ingredients with the cookie toppings together so it's all evenly distributed and not overmixed. Mix this on low until everything gets incorporated like that. And you're done!
Now we have our cookie dough, it is time to stuff them. So get your oven ready. We need some baking tray. So maybe you have perfectly wrapped your stuffing with your cookie dough and you baked it and you realize that, what? Why did it not ooze out? So an important ooze factor is that you need to have a good ratio between the stuffing and the cookie dough. For me personally, I like to do a 1 part stuffing, 3 parts cookie dough. So for example, if I had a 90-gram cookie dough, I would put 30 grams of stuffing in it. And yes, we do have to measure this. So let's go.
So weigh out the cookie dough. For this time, I'm doing a medium-sized cookie, so 90 grams. And that would mean 30 grams of stuffing. And if you're wondering why I'm putting it on a piece of plastic, that will bring me to the next tip.
Tip number 2. So with all stuffings, we know for sure that it is way easier if you freeze it. But what if we're just too lazy to wait? Like me. So I actually did show you how to kind of fill your cookie the lazy way in this video. But I do have some other way, and here's how.
Lay a piece of plastic on the table and weigh out your cookie dough and put it on top of the plastic. Spread it out into a big square so it is easier to wrap your stuffing around. I like using a small spoon to help me move around the dough. Depending on the dough recipe, you can use your fingertips. However, this recipe is a bit more buttery, so it kind of sticks to your finger a bit. Now weigh out the stuffing and put it in the center of the dough. Now grab the corners of the plastic and join it all together in the middle. Put the base of the dough on your palm and using your other hand, kind of guide the cookie dough into wrapping the stuffing. So pull the plastic back, push the cookie dough towards the center, avoiding the stuffing to kind of melt out, and just slowly push and pull until the whole dough comes together into a ball. Once you have a nice shape going on, you can plop that onto the baking tray or wrap that up and put it in the freezer and bake it whenever you feel like. If you're filling up more cookies, make sure you don't crush that plastic and you can reuse it. And this is another lazy method that I like to use. So directly on the baking tray with baking paper, spoon out your measured cookie dough and slowly build a border around it so there's a little well in the middle. I like to use 2 teaspoons and scoop up tiny bits of cookie dough and slowly build up a wall around the border. Now there is a significant size hole. We can stuff it with some Nutella, for example. I like doing it this way because it makes the hole way bigger than if you just plop a whole chunk of cookie dough and try to swirl around and create a little well. It does not give as much space as this method, I feel. Once you have put in enough stuffing, go on and cover the top with more cookie dough. I like to do this by parts and really gently to prevent those precious stuffing from oozing out. Make sure to cover any of the holes and gaps so then the stuffing will not leak out during baking.
And finally, tip number 3. The type of stuffing also affects that ooze factor you're going for. I personally really like it molten, like eating a molten cake but in a cookie form. So I have a secret ingredient to achieve that, and that is an egg. And we will take a cheesecake filling as an example with this egg, because there are so many Oreo cheesecake cookie recipes out there recently and I want mine filled.
So in a food processor, we're just gonna blend up some cream cheese, sugar, salt, and corn flour, a little bit of egg, blend it until it is smooth and even, and we will measure each stuffing and freeze it. Once that's frozen, we can stuff the cookies. So I am just showing you a different method of stuffing by freezing it. It does take a lot more time. However, I would say it is 30% easier to stuff it. So up to you. Take a teaspoon and smush the center of the dough. Add in the frozen stuffing and just slowly push the dough around the whole stuffing, making sure there are no gaps. And once it's completely covered, it's ready to bake.
And that, my friends, is how you get that Instagram-worthy shot. So go on, make some on your own, let me know how it goes. I'd really like to see the results you achieve. And as usual, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.